Today we're talking earnest money deposit. What does it go to, and do I get it back? Let's find out right now. Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Barbara Natty and I'm a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services right here in Southington, Connecticut. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you're notified every time I put out a new video. New videos come out weekly and I'll be talking all things Southington and real estate related, so you won't want to miss them. Alright, so first things first, I'm sure you notice a little bit of an echo and a different background behind me. So today, I managed to lock myself out of my house. Oh yes, I did. And now I am filming at my gym, which is right down the street from my home, luckily, so I was able to walk here. Now, you guys are super important to me, and getting these videos out to you is as well, so no matter what, I had to make sure to get this done. Okay, so let's get right into it. An earnest money deposit is the good faith deposit that you put down on a home when you make an offer. This deposit goes to the seller once the offer has been accepted. Now, there is no set amount for what an earnest money deposit should be, but generally speaking, it's around 1% of the purchase price. So if you're purchasing a $250,000 home, in general, your earnest money deposit is going to be around $2,500. Your earnest money deposit is protected by contingencies, and those contingencies generally include your inspections, financing, and in some cases, the appraisal. For the inspection contingency, generally you have around 14 days from the time the seller signs off on an offer to have your inspections done. This is a great time to not only have things inspected like the general home inspection, a pest inspection, radon, and other things you may want to have inspected, but also to practice driving to and from the home for your work commute, or maybe check out the school systems and things that are important to you in the area. During the inspection contingency time, you will have those inspections done, and if there is anything that comes up that isn't satisfactory and say the seller isn't willing to negotiate on those issues, you do have the right to back out of the sale and get your earnest money deposit back. The next contingency is financing. So say you were going to purchase a home, you've been going through the mortgage process, and something comes up where you're now no longer qualified to purchase. Maybe a job loss, or possibly the interest rates skyrocketed and you can no longer afford that same home. In this contingency, you are protected. If you weren't able to purchase the home because of financing, you would be able to get your earnest money deposit back. Next up is the appraisal contingency. Now, there isn't always an appraisal contingency along with an offer. Generally, it's something that I include when writing an offer for my buyers, basically stating that if the home does not appraise for the purchase price, that the buyer is able to back out of the contract and get their earnest money deposit back. So the appraisal contingency could come into play if you specified it with a cash purchase. Otherwise, it doesn't have to be done for a cash purchase. Also, when you're financing, if the house doesn't appraise for the same price or appraises for less than the purchase price, but you decide to bring cash to closing, you could still purchase in that way. So say you were purchasing a home that appraised for $250,000, but your offer was for $260,000. You could bring that extra $10,000 to closing and still purchase the home. So with these contingencies, you have to stay within the specific dates that were specified on the purchase and sale agreement. So your realtor is going to watch these dates for you and know what they are, but you should also watch them too. So long as you stay within your dates and there's no breach of contract, you should be able to get your earnest money deposit back if there are any issues that come up with those three contingencies. Now, I do always advise my buyers when writing up a purchase and sale agreement that to get into the agreement, both parties, buyer and seller, have to sign, and to get out of an agreement, both parties have to sign as well. So there are times that you might not get your earnest money deposit back, and this is going to be basically if you get cold feet and just decide not to purchase the home. If you've gone through your inspection contingency and you've gotten your financing all straight and the home has appraised, you are almost at the finish line and it's time to close. Make sure that you don't get cold feet now, or else the seller may keep your earnest money deposit as damages from you walking away. So your earnest money deposit is actually part of your down payment on the home. So if your loan type requires 3% down and you put a 1% earnest money deposit, that will be held in an escrow account until closing, and that will come off the total down payment on the home. So now you're only going to need to bring an additional 2% of the purchase price to closing for your total down payment. In Connecticut, generally the earnest money deposit is held by the listing agent's brokerage in a separate escrow account until the closing. So I hope you now have a better understanding of earnest money deposits. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. See you all next week from my regular location.